What's going on, guys? So in front of me, you were looking at our Brinkley Model I collaboration unit. And this is the unit that Brinkley sent to us for about a month and a half to do a review and evaluation on. Now, we're about to take off on a trip, and most of the videos you've seen on this have been made in the last 2 days, so they're not necessarily, spaced out far apart. We will be taking this out this weekend, so it's going to be really cool to actually use it and see what it's all about. Meanwhile, I've made videos showcasing kind of the setup process once we received it, a little bit more about the collaboration, as well as another video doing a full interior exterior review, and then also going over some things that are really cool and that kind of stand out specifically about Brinkley units, which are awesome. And then another video talking about tongue weight after we've loaded it up, because this trailer right here has a dry weight of like 7,800 pounds and a gross vehicle weight rating of like 9,800 pounds. So it's a relatively heavy RV for only being about 30 feet long total. That's pretty crazy. Now, when we look at the tongue weight dry, it's only like 705 pounds or 710 pounds, somewhere in that range. But loaded up for camping without being overloaded, I mean, we are probably only at about maybe 400 pounds-ish worth of stuff on this RV. We're at 1,000 pounds worth of tongue weight. So you have to keep in mind that whenever you get an RV, the tongue weight that you have is not going to be the tongue weight that you're going to have once you load the thing up and get it ready for camping. But that's not the point of this video. The reality of an RV like this is that it's going to have an MSRP approaching $80,000 for a 30-foot RV, which by most people's standards is a pretty dang expensive RV. Now, the value play here is that you get so much for that amount. What I mean by that is they're doing things on here that you just don't see on traditional RVs. We're going to talk about that real quick, again, just to briefly touch on it, and then we're going to talk about some things that I think that they could add to this unit to make it even better. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about some things I really like, and this is going to be a quick recap. I love the fact that they're using an aluminum sidewall on top of Asdel, which just really gives this probably one of the best sidewalls on any RV out there, regardless of what you're a fan of. This is just an incredibly robust, super high quality sidewall, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I love the automotive seals package that they have as well. You don't see any caulking anywhere in here. These are all gasket seals, and this is what you would see on a vehicle like a car, and you just don't ever see on RVs. So I love the fact that they're doing that. I don't know of really many manufacturers that are doing that except for some really expensive motorhome manufacturers. So that is really cool. I love the fact that they're dovetailing their drawers. Again, on a travel trailer, it's rare enough, but on a travel trailer under 30 feet long, that's pretty dang impressive. I love the fact that you can get options like dual pane windows, and you get the Euroglass squared off windows so you don't have those valances and things inside of the RV. That's really cool. I love the fact that they give you wiring harnesses in here. The upgraded suspension. You get the road armor suspension with the upgraded shackle straps, greasable wet bolts. All of that, plus a reinforced frame. I love the electric stabilizers that are controllable from the wet bay, and the fact that you get a wet bay in this RV. These are true differences. I love the fact that they use a heavier duty frame. So they do get their frames from Lippert, but it is a heavier duty frame than you would traditionally see. That's one of the reasons why a 30-foot RV like this has a gross vehicle weight rating near 10,000 pounds. That extra weight is because of what they're doing with the frame, the sidewalls, and other areas that you traditionally don't see, because most RV manufacturers are on a race to the lightest RV that they can produce, so it's towable by most vehicles. This right here is a 3/4 ton up towable RV. This is not what you'd put behind a half-ton RV, which is kind of strange when you consider that under 30 feet is still, kind of relatively short for a lot of towable RVs. Travel trailers can get upwards of 40 feet long these days. So the fact is, this right here is built in a way that you traditionally don't see. And I love that, because it's proving to people who are looking for an RV that not all RVs are junk. that not all RVs are just, tacked together and glued together, that there are manufacturers out there who are really focused around building a quality RV and giving you as much possible. Now, if you really want to see the deep dive into all this, go back and check out the other videos where I walk through the inside of it and I give you a great tour of everything that's going on. This video is not that, though. Now, there are some things that I do think they could be doing differently in a way. I believe that as good as Brinkley is, there are areas that could use some improvement, just like any other RV on the market. One of those areas is this right here. I really wish they would switch from a twist lock 50 amp connection to a smart plug connection. Smart plug is what Airstream uses and some other brands where it plugs into the side. It's a higher quality connection and it just reduces the chance that you're going to have heat buildup because you don't have a good contact. That's an area I could definitely see some improvement, and I do wish that they would add a smart plug to the side. I like the easy grab handle they have here, which is the latch extend from Lippert, but I do wish that they would put the RV lock keyless entry system on this RV. I think that is a really, really good upgrade to have, and it's one that I think should pretty much be standard on these units. Now, this is a big one for me because I think it would make sense. I believe they should have an enclosed area up here that houses both the propane tanks as well as the batteries in a front section right here that is blocked off and lockable, because this is an area where a lot of people are upgrading to lithium iron phosphate batteries, which can be very expensive, and they're also a target for a lot of folks. Plus propane cans that are out here, yes, they're relatively easy to get to by pulling this off, but I do believe it would be nice if they put kind of an enclosure up front here that surrounds a lot of this. A lot of your higher end manufacturers do that, and I think that that would look really nice on the front of a Brinkley, but it would also act in a very functional way that would help a lot of folks. Okay, so everything in the kitchen uses solid surface countertops, but here in the bathroom they're still using thermofoil, and I do wish they would go to a more solid surface material that doesn't have your traditional wood backer. Something like maybe the Wilson Art Thinscape. I think that's a really, really good material. It's thin, it's like a ½ inch thick, but it's definitely a step up from this material, and it has much more solid surface characteristics than like a particle board or a press board with a wrap on top of it. So I do definitely think that that is an area they could improve. In the bedroom here, they have an 8,000 BTU Furrion chill air conditioning system, not the chill cube. I do think it would have been nice to put a second chill cube in. However, the chill cube is an 18,000 BTU AC only. So this is only 8,000 BTUs. I don't not like it, but I do feel as if they could have gone with maybe a different type of system in here. Perhaps the new Grease system that you're seeing a lot about, something with perhaps a heat pump even built into it. And I think that would give you that isolated heat that you might want just in this space if you're in a cold environment and you need to heat up the room, as well as giving you a really, really gradual ramp up that would give you the ability to power it off of much smaller power systems as well. So in the kitchen space, they are giving you soft closing cabinets, but it would also be nice to see soft closing drawers as well. The reason why isn't what you might think. It's not just because it's more of a luxurious feature. It's because the drawers will actually pull themselves shut when they get close, which means if you're going over bumpy roads, things like that, and a drawer opens up because it uses a magnetic latch, when it gets close, it's automatically going to pull itself shut, which is really nice about something like this, is that the door itself is actually pulling itself shut. So for the most part, I love what they've done with the suspension, right? They have 5,100 pound axles. They give you some nice hand-cooked tires. It has the ABS system on it as well, which is really nice, and I forgot to mention that a little earlier. Plus it has sway mitigation and all of the cool features to give you a safer tow. But on the bottom you can see again, reinforced frame structure, has the Road Armor upgraded equalizer with the heavy-duty shackle straps, greasable wet bolts. This right here is what you would traditionally see on a large fifth wheel. So I love the fact that they're doing this. But again, I kind of feel as if an area they could add a little bit more to this would be to perhaps offer perhaps the Beast Mode suspension or even the Dexter Torflex torsion suspension on here, because I think most people do view that as an upgrade, and it would be a nice upgrade to have on the Model I. And then finally, it would have been nice if they had an upgraded front tongue jack here. Now, this isn't a terrible front tongue jack, but it would be nice if it had maybe the ones that have the automatic memory on them to give you the ability for it to raise to a certain height, like the hitch height, give you a couple features, or even maybe the super fast Phoenix series that like raise as quickly as a hydraulic system. That would be really nice, and I think that that is something that could be a good evolutionary change. Again, the folks at Brinkley are actually doing it right. They're doing a lot of really good things. There are some areas that they could always add some accessories, give you a few other benefits. But I do realize that all of that adds cost as well. So they're doing a good job balancing all of that. But I think by adding the few things that I mentioned in this video, none of them are terribly expensive, except maybe the torsion suspension, but it would definitely elevate this to an even higher level on top of what they're already doing. Perhaps a fiberglass roof would be really nice, so like a full fiberglass roof up there, something that gives it a little bit more strength. But at the end of the day, again, they're doing a lot of really good things. I'd love to know your opinion, though. What do you feel about Brinkley in general? What do you feel about the videos I've made on it? Do you see this as being kind of a step up above most in the industry? Because I certainly do. And just because there's brands like Lippert and others that some people may not agree with, it does not mean that they build a bad product, especially when it's spec'd out in a custom way by the folks over at Brinkley, just to ensure that their RV is kind of a step above a lot of the brands that they compete against. But I'd love to know your feedback. Drop a comment below. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again real soon.